The Royale podcast entitled Shut It Down.
Excuse me.
Real Talk Boston. Real Talk Boston with your host, Lee Royale. How's everybody doing? In today's podcast, which is entitled Shut It Down, it talks about things in life that we all may need to consider is a distraction in our lives. Is a distraction in even potential growth. It's a distraction because it ain't benefiting anything. It's just there serving no purpose at all. Shut it down. Folks, we're going to start off right off the rip talking about broken relationships. Meaning, relationships that's not productive, that you really ain't achieving anything behind being involved in that particular type of relationship. The relationships that don't show any growth, doesn't show any future possibilities of you and that person having a life together. When God created man, he stated that man shouldn't live by bread alone. So that's when he took a rib from the man, which is Adam, put him in a deep sleep. Then he created woman, which is Eve. Now hear this. The reason why he did that, he created for man a help meet. And what that is, it's just a partner. Someone that makes life easier. Somebody who helps you through the process of getting things achieved and done. It's just a woman. Now, all these different types of relationships that's going on, which primarily deals with being someone's side chick, or being somebody's side dude, or being someone's playmate, or should I refer to it as sex partner, with no titles, no commitment, or nothing. So what happens after the fun is over? What happens when you just don't desire to have that type of involvement with a person anymore? Life progressively goes on. Things change. Situations change. Meanwhile, you don't have nothing that you built up over a period of time, which is called a foundation. And so therefore, that's why there's people out there that's still single. There's people out there who's lonely, who desire to have a mate, or who desire to be cared for and to be loved. But how could you possibly get those things if you're doing things that don't build up to that? Doesn't make any manifestation of anything great or any type of emotional feelings over a period of time. You know, when you spend time with people, you know, if you notice that you start growing fond of that individual, they start growing fond of you. And then from that, it's created a relationship. And then from that, it creates perhaps marriage. And also a lifetime commitment of being together. That is what God's intention was when he created man and woman. For you all, for us as people, to be solely devoted to one person and one person only in marriage. He never spoke anything about relationships. So all that right there is man-made. There's make no mistake about it, it's man-made. So what's really needed is truth and true guidance, where people can know exactly what's acceptable and what's not acceptable in the eyes of the Lord. Because I know at some point you're going to want to make it to heaven. Because you know heaven promises an everlasting life. Not the life that you live in now, but the life that comes after the second coming of Jesus Christ. You want to be a part of that. So shut it down. Shut down these false relationships. Shut down these meaningful things that doesn't mean anything, that doesn't manifest anything. Begin doing things that brings growth, that brings manifestation. So therefore you can look down the line and say, this is what I did at the beginning. And as a result of me doing the right thing, this is the manifestation behind it. Look at me now. Shut it down, people. Shut it down. So folks, now we're going to get into a more personal conversation as it regards to single parent homes. Meaning homes with just one parent taking care and maintaining a family all by himself or all by herself. If you let the truth be told, it takes two parents to raise a family. Simply because a man can't teach a girl how to be a woman. And then in retrospect to that, a woman can't teach a boy how to be a man. So it takes two parents to raise a family productively and move them in the right direction as children, from children to teens to adulthood. So while you're out in the world making decisions for yourself, think about your future. Think about what you want now and down the road. Because now will tell you and show you the possibilities of what's possible down the line. So it's good to plan from the beginning so you can have a great ending, rather than deal with a situation or with a person that have no intentions of having a future with you, or you don't have no intentions of having a future with them. But yet, children are being born, and relationships are being broken. And the only ones that suffer behind that is the children. Yeah, a few months ago, I came out with the sermon or podcast that's entitled Men Step Up. And the reason why I selected that to talk about, because it's really prevalent, simply because God made man the head of the household. He made man as a provider. He made man to lead his family, to protect his family, to guide his children. And so how is that possible if only the mother's in the house? The father's not there. He's out elsewhere, perhaps making more babies, or perhaps doing meaningless things rather than worry about and being concerned about a child that he created. It's time to really start thinking about what's best for you, not just for what's best for the moment, but what's best for you in your future. There's a beautiful thing, and if you don't know, children are a gift. You know, there's people that can't even have kids, but if you have them, how is it possible for you to have them and not take care of them? Men, shut it down. Step up and do the right thing as it regards to your children. Because as I quoted in my podcast, is that for men who don't take care of their children, their kids, God separates himself from you. You forfeit the faith. Forever separation from God. Meaning, you don't get no blessings. He don't bless you for anything. And you're thinking that, wow, this is just how life is. Life is being bad to me, and every time I turn around, I'm not making any manifestation, any growth, and I'm not getting ahead in life, or so on and so forth. Look at what you're doing. It's God that blesses everything. Don't think that because something good happened for you, that you are the one that's responsible for that. You're not. God is responsible for it. You see, upon creation, God had indicated that you have to choose between two masters. I mean, who's going to control your life? Because certainly it's not you. It's the Holy Spirit. Or it's Satan. So God says, choose one and despise the other. Shut it down. Shut it down. Folks, as we get into our next discussion, which is called Life Excuses, basically, when we talk about that, we're talking about things that could go one way if you decide to do it the right way, or it can go another way if you decided to do it another way. And so now what we're reflecting and what we're talking about now, we're talking about people that make excuses for things that they don't have, things that they need, or things that no one's giving them. There's a scripture in the Bible that states God states that if you don't work, then you don't eat. So that reality of life, because we know that money is the root of all evil, but yet at the same time, without money, there's no way that you can get anything done. You can get it financially. So there's plenty of opportunity out there. The system was designed for it to function a certain way. Basically, you go to school, you get an education, elementary, middle school, high school. In some cases, if you want to go to college, you go to college. But nevertheless, these are the things that's going to get you set and moving forward in life. And without an education, you can't go anywhere. So how is it possible for you to go through life expecting things and you didn't put in the work to get these things? It's not given to you on a silver platter without you doing some sort of work to achieve these things. You know, when I was a teenager, even a little bit before I became a teenager, my mom's single parent, as we was talking about that a little earlier, I kept saying to her at the age of 14, Mom, I want to work. She says to me, you're too young to work. You can't work. So I left it alone for a little while. But then I noticed there's certain things that I wanted, and I knew my mother couldn't afford to actually get those things for me. So what was happening was that various members of my family gave me certain things that I can do. One being watching their house once they go on vacation, maintaining their home, cleaning it, whatever, and I got well compensated for that. Another being that I was babysitting as well because some of the family members had jobs and they didn't have the proper support system that would enable them to work, do a 9 to 5, 7 to 3, 8 to 4, 11 to 7, without having to worry and be concerned. So therefore, since I was young, I babysitted, got well compensated for that. So up until I became 16, and that's when I landed me a good job. But nevertheless, my motivation as being young, even coming up, was to work. And then out of the money that I got from babysitting, from cleaning my relatives' homes, and so on and so forth, I used that money to buy my bike. I used that money to buy my school clothes, and so on and so forth, just to maintain myself as being, a young and adolescent coming up. Which kind of took the burden of my mother having to buy my clothes, because I know at that particular point in time she had a certain standard, certain things that she wanted. If she was going to spend her money, she was going to get, and those some of the things I might have not had liked. So I ended up buying my own clothes from the age of 12 on up. My mother stopped buying clothes for me at the age of 12 because I was getting opportunities and getting money by doing other things. I even sold, I don't know whether you guys know about this right here. This was back in the day what it's called Olympic cards. I even sold those. They're all occasion cards that if you sold the next amount of cards, 500, 1,000 or what have you, what happens is that you get compensated for that, and that's how I got my bike. So folks, we have to be productive. And God never lied when he said that if you don't work, you don't eat. So we got to be more productive in life if we're planning on having something that's meaningful. It's time to shut it down. Shut it down, folks. As we come to an ending of my part, I just want to emphasize and talk about life. Life is our best teacher. Our ups, our downs, anything that's dealing with something that had occurred, it might not have felt comfortable. It might not have been desirable. It might have been an undesirable effect. But if you didn't learn anything behind it, then life cannot have been your best teacher. Because mistakes, hurt, and pain is not designed to destroy you. It's designed to teach you and build you up. So life teaches us not how to make the same mistakes, but to learn from our mistakes. Shut it down. Once again, my name is Lee Royale. I am your host of Real Talk Boston. Take care.